Unpicking. How do you do it?
Oh, fiddlesticks. I'm gonna have to unpick that one.
We've all been there. It's just part of sewing. But when things go wrong, how do you unpick? Option number 1, the unpinners. Unpinners' weapon of choice is a pin for unpicking. They will insert it between the stitch and the fabric and painstakingly pull each stitch out until they've undone everything they need to. I think it's possibly the slowest method of unpicking I've found. It works. Its advantages are you've got a lot of precision for unpicking. The disadvantages are probably the speed, and occasionally you will get barbs on the pin you've chosen, which can snag particularly delicate fabrics. Option 2, the unsnippers. Unsnippers use a small pair of embroidery scissors. They will pull the seam apart and snip the stitches. It's much faster than the unpinning, but it is high risk for cutting the fabric, and as the ends of your scissors become blunt over time, it just gets harder and harder to do. Option 3, the uncutters. Uncutters are bold. They use the exact same method as the unsnippers, but with a large pair of dressmaking shears. It lacks any sort of precision and is high risk for cutting the fabric along with any stitches that you may capture along the way. Generally speaking, I would say I don't recommend this method for unpicking. Option 4, the unpickers. The unpickers use a quick unpick. It's a device that has been specifically made for undoing stitches. They come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, but they're all doing the same job. I tend to have multiple quick unpicks in various parts of my sewing space just to make sure that whenever I need one, there is one on hand. The main features of a quick unpick are this little red ball. Inside this little groove is a nice little sharp blade, and then it's got this pointy tip. Each part is there to do a job. The red ball protects the fabric whilst the blade is there to cut through the stitching, and that pointy end is there to help you feed underneath these stitches. So as you can see, it's used very similarly to the pin method, but it's a lot quicker. You can go through a couple of stitches at a time because you've got more force behind you with the grip held firmly on the quick unpick. And then occasionally, as necessary, you see this blade will just cut through the stitches and help undo it in a similar way to how you would potentially do it with the unsnipping method. It also means that when you open up the seam, like in the unsnipping and the uncutting method, you can get in, you're not worrying about cutting the fabric because that blade is only going to cut those stitches once you've fed through that nice point. You do, however, have to replace your quick unpick over time. The blade will become blunt. It's like a pair of scissors in that sense. The most exciting thing a quick unpick can do that no other method can is the complete seam rip. You place the red ball on the right side of your garment to protect the fabric and just hold on tight and slide it down that seam. It's incredibly dangerous for ripping your fabric, but it's supremely fun and highly effective. So which team do you fall into? Let us know in the comments. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit like and subscribe to see more videos like this. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter.